Good morning. Hello. Hello. We're going to put these on so you guys can hear us. I guess somebody's taking a snapshot of my screen. Weird. Hello, MV. Hello. Or maybe it's the... Let me know if you can hear me. Maybe it's the green screen. Doubt it. Good morning, everyone. Hello, 𝒟𝒾𝓁𝓎 𝒟𝒾𝓃𝓒𝒛. Good morning. Praise the Lord. God, we thank and praise you for the opportunity to come before you and to bless your holy name. Guide us today. Welcome. It is story time. Can you guys hear me? You hear me okay? Is there any noise in the background? Because we're trying to cancel it out with these. I'm going to put them back here. Let me know. Okay, so you can hear me. There's no noise in the background. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. So, I'm in my office. So we will be doing a few things. We'll take you with us. Great. You can hear me clearly. Wonderful. So let's see when we'll start here. Okay, so I've been designated to sit as, have a good day, bye, to sit as a presiding president of a community, a certain region. And there's new residents. We're creating a whole new place. And in this place, again, a lot of people are coming from other regions that have been infiltrated into crime or were built on criminal activity, such as different agencies, a lot of victims. And we are accepting them into this new space. And they have stories. Even the person closest to me that'll be working with me, right hand, stories of what they're escaping in this other area. Wild stories. So there will be names. Maybe I should do this as a video. Now, I've never met these people actually. I don't know them very well. I'm going to come from the point of sometimes jumping into the person speaking because these stories are too fascinating and too multifaceted to just tell. Many moving parts here. So I myself, for those that don't know, I am 𝒟𝒾𝓁𝓎. In this space of being a president, my name is different. We'll get to that. And these are fictional names and characters, naturally. But they tell their stories, or you hear of them, or you observe them from other people that are just talking. And you think, what a crazy, wild world. Yeah. And that's why we're here in this new space as president. Not to shade anyone else, this is actually a story. Okay, so no one should be offended. So I've been sitting in my office here with a lot of entertainment. characters that want to block the presidency for me, and the work that I'll be doing. Very fascinating world. So in this capacity, what I'll be doing is taking the people that have been traumatized by systems into losing family. I mean, they're still alive, but there's a lot of problems. Have to heal things. I'm thinking, because I was born in the 1900s. This era that I'm currently in is close 1/4 into the 3000s. Okay. So these characters are absolutely, and I'm just going to grab some names. Hi, everybody. Yes, there's a fire chirping in the back. Hello, Melanie. Hello, 𝒟𝒾𝓁𝓎? Hello. Good morning. This is Bible based. All right, so there's a lot of stories you hear me coming in and out because is someone taking pictures of the screen, or is that the Bluetooth? I mean the green screen. Keeps flashing if you guys don't see that. One of the stories that came through, I mean, I want to give the origin of where I came into the scenario and got to hear these stories. I had it all laid out because there are current characters that are still yet antagonizing the people that want to come into this new space. There are people that are from Hades. There's a handful of them. They hop between different places. We're going to say Missouri, Kentucky, Illinois. Now, these are states that probably don't even exist anymore since the late, well, they're early 2000s. Maybe they left. Now they were overran by other entities. And so these are shells of places at this point, I believe, in this season in life. Not a lot of people. From what I hear in the stories, I don't know. We're in another time, so I'm reaching back. These are stories that they've told. So here, where we are now, there is no time per se. So we reach back to timelines that were in existence. So there were a bunch of characters that were running around under some guise of some of these agencies that were in existence at the time. And these agencies harmed people. They hired everyday people to do their crimes in different capacities. And these people accepted. In them accepting, a lot of people were hurt. And in most recent times before it collapsed or whatever happened. I guess the older heads had passed on, and the people under them did not want to live under that bondage of debauchery, crime, legal charges, debauchery. Wrap it all up. Sin. So, right before the collapse, there were a bunch of people that would come to this region and reach and pull people out that weren't in that region, in that group, in that lifestyle. And these would be very nice, innocent people that they would attach to things that hadn't, everybody knew that those people had nothing to do with anything. And these people worked hard. Again, from the 1900s, early 1900s, middle 1900s, these people would, see, in our space, we have to create a time. And we're just reaching back to the old times that, so you have AD in that season, which is after the death of Christ, the events that were recorded in the Bible, but also in real life then. And then you have BC, which was before Christ. Okay. So after the death of Christ, there were a lot of things that transpired. And it started time over. The count started over. So after the BC, before Christ, they started in AD. All the events were recorded. And they actually reset time to 0. So this is 2,000 years after, at that time. We're in a different zone now. It's going over to a different zone. It's getting close to the return at this point, so people are in the middle space. For those that made it over, people were instructed to move to the right of the timeline for righteousness. And some people, bah humbug. Some people were tricked over. Some people, God knows their heart, so they'll still make it. But we're in the middle. We're now inventing. We're now carrying over. We're now moving into a new season. I mean, it could be another restart after the return of Christ. RC. Then you might have to wait before the return of Christ. So, before everything changed, there were people that one moment, I told you guys I'll be a little bit busy in and out of the office. Give me a moment. Thank you for your patience. All right, so I don't know why I feel like If it's close, you can hear me better, so I'm leaning in. But it's actually here, right? Okay, so one of the issues that came over was that there were families that were being attacked for no reason. And the lady comes in and tells the story, and again, I'll flip into how she was talking or what she was saying. I, me, and we, as if I was there in the story. But there are some very fascinating characters here that was chasing this lady and her family. Some wicked, silly competition that literally just went way too far. So, in that particular season, starting in the 1800s, there were a lot of newmanship, families that came over from other countries. The only thing is they had the mindset to be like slave owners to everyday people that existed in the region. Some of these people knew, some stopped talking, some died off, whether it was by premature death or just their time to go, whatever that looks like. And people would often, I think somebody's taking pictures of my screen. People would often, when I look away, it flashes. That's weird. Really? If I move the same way? Yeah, I see it. Okay, so it may be just the green screen. Okay, so anyway, people would not talk too much about it because it's like, well, what are you going to do? I mean, shoot, we got to survive. I guess we'll just be stealing because it belongs to us anyway, and people are impoverishing us. And when we try to survive and find creative ways to exist and have property and land or food, now we're stealing. And it's our stuff that people are using to get massive wealth. That was their thoughts. So they became the criminals at home. People invaded their home and said, serve us. Or we'll beat you. We'll kill your kids. We'll harm you. Some people complied, some didn't, some were forced. So then you have the offspring of these people, 2, 3, 4 generations out. And they're spoiled. They don't even understand the concept of humanity because they see so much debauchery. And now everybody has to be under the thumb and rule of these children that weren't taught humanity. They were taught brutality, guerrilla pimping, guerrilla warfare on innocent people. No one's doing anything to these people. So generation after generation, people are attacked, they're killed, they're maimed, they're attacked. Fathers killed or put in jail, women are left out, kids are left out. And when they get creative and try and make it, they're considered thieves, liars, and jokesters. Unqualified. I'm sorry to hear that. Let's pray. Father, untrap this man under court. The infant here. Amen. So all of these women and men are subject to all of this brutality. Years. And the people that protest and say, well, how were you born? Were you born to actually torture and terrorize people? Those people were punished. But these people were really harming and hurting people generationally. If you had land, they had already said they bought it, but no one ever saw any evidence. And they don't care to show it. But they're steady making money in that region at the time. So the people that are coming in here, it's like a whole new world because we're not using any of those processes over there. These people have been living at the end of in between time in the meantime. And they're prepared to come into this new setting. But they have stories. Some of the stories are from the 40s and 50s, where people joined organizations and were told they had to do certain things. Maybe they weren't aware that they were the slaves in the community of this group. I don't know what happened. And they want to be big time. They may even get that accolade, but truly, they're just pawns in this game. Pawns in this game. Ponzi scheme. Wow. Where'd that come from? Where you get people to join up, you get the, see, this is a lesson for somebody, for me. I want to do a program where people invest. So what makes it a scam? Ponzi scheme. What makes it that? What does that even mean? Well, now let's look at it. We're in the office. We've been watching here at the office with some of the new residents. As president, we get down. We get on the ground and help people with their everyday lives. We listen to their stories. We're not listening just to pacify. We're looking for solutions, which is why we're here. You want them to know that whatever they experienced out there, is someone messing with my little port here. Ow, shoot. What's this dust? Like dust. I doubt it. Okay, I did plug in better. Wow. Isn't God good? So there's a bunch of people from the 50s, 70s, 60s, 40s. That have been playing games on people's minds. I don't know who learned from who. Or who's adding to the dramatic experience of people. But may God be glorified. So, these systems that cause people to lose their identity, their minds, to be crazy, greedy, needy, susceptible to games, and then some people are just criminals, simply put. They get into things and they try to keep people clear. From what I'm getting. But in some cases, it's inevitable. People get touched that shouldn't be touched. And as God has warned people, don't make me mad. You won't like me when I'm mad. And they still go for it. So, thank you for watching my videos, guys. Yeah. Thank you for watching my videos. I appreciate it. Because it's just story time. We're already famous in God's eyes. We're already everything we need to be for kingdom. Okay? for everything you should be. So there was a lady that came in and started telling a story of how her family got tangled up and how God rescued. And it was very fascinating. Said she was in some area that had been demonically possessed. Put that on the side. This space was demonically possessed. And she said that because, again, she was surrounded by people who had checked out. No matter who she met, where she went, what was going on, people would just flip. Now, they could have just been paid. They could have just been manipulated. Such as she said, if she was dating someone, um, the guy will be very interested, and then all of a sudden he'll be acting like, okay, my other friend is here. And it would be because possibly people would follow her around and see what she was doing, and they will casually link other people up to that guy that was a wild she-devil sexually. And this lady was very modest. So naturally, men with issues go for the she-devil. But was there supposed to be a comparison? Who's competing? So that would leave this lady outdoors with her children regularly. Some cases, they would pay these men to come in and do things. And they would do it. Whether it was for money, drugs, stability, just maintaining it. It's just business. Now, I don't know who has all that power. She's saying there was this wicked old man born in the 40s that felt like in the state he was the head of the state, the owner. And despite whoever got in office, this man had promoted himself to like the president of the state. And he would just allow strange events because he was from that slave regimen, the thug era. He was raised that way. So, trying to see when I turn my head, get that snapshot. But so he would allow a lot of things to certain people. Why? Because systematically he may have known that these were the children of wealthy people he bumped elbows with over the centuries. So let's explain that. So again, if you have family that came here in the 1800s and some of them died in the 1900s, their children learn whatever they know, whatever they do. And they were trained to do this. They saw this. They met those people because those people knew they were going off the scene. Now they're passing it down to their children. Right? The slaves, the properties, the states. Very heinous activity. Very criminal. But who's stopping them? So in the background, they're still doing this. That person passes, and they pass it down to the next son. And that son understands the elbow parts of it. So he's doing the same thing, if not worse, because systems are changing, they're upgrading, they're getting better, get worse. So then he goes away and he's trained his son, and maybe one other generation, how to run this system that they've created. And instead of getting more heinous, more brutal, more bold, because this one is tyrannical. This one is systematically nuts. And their children may have delved in and out of whatever this is. But them knowing the connections, they know their family ties with various people. Who's related to who, in some cases, because of paperwork. If a man that was wealthy from all of the endeavors that he's had lived here in this particular place that this story comes from, I think it was called Illinois, particularly Chicago, that is the Indian word, I believe. It was not anything. It was Chicago. That's what I heard. This place was overran by tyrannical people that didn't believe in fairness, humanity, or anything like that. That's what she said. And her family got tangled up in some stuff. Now, why? Greed. People wanted to take over the wealthy people's things. When they pass away, these things were literally already housed in places where people had access to these people as if property. And they would vow in some cases that if these people had children that did not look like them, that they would keep the assets and give it to the group, whoever they designated. But in some cases, and it may happen more often while people are moving over into the new space, some of these men were wealthy men of different nationalities. They had beautiful children with beautiful women. These women may not have survived or have been well known. But these men, in their perceived absence, death, they decided to finally give these people their found wealth, the things that they have accumulated. Some call it reparations, some call it, yeah. So fair, just, due. I'm going to say maybe people had children with people, but these were people that they quote unquote owned at the time. And maybe they visited home at some point in their 20s or 30s with the family. Remember, these are most likely the other people's land that people came over and took over because they were able. So let's look at this from what this lady was saying. Let's look at it. In some cases, people's families came and caused people poverty. And maybe they were part of the families that took part in that in another state. And maybe they were fond of the family. And maybe where the system wasn't, maybe this person thought, I can't stop it. And maybe they had a child with one of those ladies or something. I don't know. Or maybe they were aware of it. Or maybe the mother carried two different children. One looked like the man, which was of a different nationality. And one maybe belonged to another person. I don't know. But whatever happened, he knew that he didn't think it was fair whatever happened to the family. Having property and someone just come take it and then other people mine it and work it and then give you $2 for the whole duration and knew what was happening to the family, being inconvenienced, being monetarily stripped, left out in the cold. Maybe this person thought it was unfair, especially after a certain period of time. Or maybe they watched this young lady grow up and how they grew up and started looking and thinking, my mindset is not conducive to going to heaven. This is really nice lady. She doesn't deserve to be out here struggling. Who does? She doesn't deserve the hardship that's coming to her. So I'm going to make a conscious, in my right mind decision to leave this relative all of my stuff. All hell breaks loose because people had already banked on dispersing this man's wealth the way it's always been dispersed. And it's back into the wealthy. This man said, in his heart, from what she's giving, this young lady is absolutely wealthy. And it should show on the outside. She doesn't bother anybody. She raises her children. She's a sweetheart from what I can see. Her mom was a sweetheart. I just want to be nice. So I'm going to leave this to her and her family. My family's already enjoyed everything. The class they're in has always been able to bounce back and have support. This young lady has been needing support for a while, and no one's helped her. And from what she's saying, there's several men, several people that remembered her and left her something, and the system ate it up. So this, where someone literally kind of got through and made a dent in the system and projected, I'm leaving this to you. You may not know your real name or your identity, but I've entrusted some people to come and talk to you. They're part of the system, so they're not. And God is going to deal with them appropriately. Everybody had really believed that this person would not do that. They weren't aware that he had this change of heart. Maybe he told, again, a few people. However, they had already put in motion for several people whenever they die, whether it was caused, created, and it's hardly ever natural. We're going to transfer their wealth right into our machine because that's what we do. Screw the black people, right? Screw those people, those poor people, those people. It's not nationality. It's just a word that I used. I don't know her story that way. She didn't go that way. So she says that this tyrannical person that doesn't have any love for people, really, was ready to transfer, had locked her and her kids into something by hiring all these people from the 50s, 60s, and even the 70s, and some in the 2000s, to carry out a crime of blocking this lady from getting this stuff. There were several people that was ready to pass. And there were some little demonic gremlins that were assigned to cause this lady and her family to hurt themselves. Separated them, caused a lot of pain and anguish, a whole bunch of problems. For what? God says. That's what she said. For what? They've already enjoyed the freedoms of life. They've already enjoyed stealing, killing, and destroying. What is the greed for? She says. Why are they greedy? She wants me to call these people's names so bad. She does. Because they're still harassing. Or they were at the time. They wouldn't stop. It was for no reason, just demonic. There was no science to it, just demonic, mentally ill. Everybody's scared of this little punk, but the lady wasn't. She wasn't. She said this is a little tyrannical tyrant, little toddler. It's probably drunk. Could be a woman. Drunk little toddler. Playing at people's expense at the time. And would have them tell you what happened because so many people got involved. I mean, they put this one little 1970s baby in the mix, and this person wasn't taking their meds, and they'd been spoiled by a bunch of little Jezebels and gigolos and confused in life, and they never took responsibility and stood up and been a hero. I mean, they had dumbed this kid down. And he gets involved, and all he hears is, you need to make some problems. And this fool linked up with all these other people that needed medicine or straitjackets. And people went all off the Richter scales. They went all ham on this lady and these two kids. This lady was 5'1". Her kids were not that much taller. Very young, sweet people. One bother nobody. And they just did all this tyrannical stuff in this little area to this lady and her kids, her family. And it was a bunch of people. It wasn't just one or two. A bunch of people were sitting there watching for no reason. If that wealth was supposed to come to that lady, all of these monkeys were assigned to come against her for no reason. I don't think they were paid. I don't think they survived this because whatever they did triggered God's anger, and He took them all out in various ways. Everybody went. Everybody went. Everybody. You hear me? Pen pushers, paper pushers, door holders, door lockers, office managers, building maintenance owners, property owners, business owners, whatever this crap was they was doing, deleted. Everybody. Did you hear me say everybody was deleted? And anybody that was left behind, residual to them. That's why we're in this holding space that we're creating. Deleted. There's various ways that things happen. I can give you an example from what she said. Some people mysteriously got really sick, the whole family. The entire family. It didn't matter where they lived. I think they were all coming to the same space, being weird together. Incest, I guess, I don't know. Or possibly they had killed somebody. Or they were torturing somebody and taking turns, carelessly raping this person maybe. And somebody was sick and didn't care. And they was being greedy and stupid. I mean, they could have locked this person up in a club or something, boy, girl. And they was just so angry at the mother for no reason. Just crazy. They were attacking her sons and whoever, whatever it was, uncles, cousins. And somebody made somebody sick, and I don't know, God allowed everybody to get sick. I don't know if it was physical, mental. I mean, think about it. You are attacking someone brutally that's related to somebody that you don't like, that has nothing to do with you in real life at all. Nothing to do with any of you. And you all find out the person was lying. And now you're all going to die. Maybe that made everybody sick. Everybody got the message. I'm assuming from what she said. That everybody was going to die. Again, I don't know if it was a mental thing, because everybody found out that they had been taking people and putting them in clubs and truck trailers and cutting people up, putting them at the park by green dumpsters on sunny sunset days, using bags, being disgusting, using butchers in the city close to police departments. They would chop the body up so there'd be no evidence. That's what she said. But God saw the whole thing. And showed it to this lady. That was crazy. Well, it's all wrapped up now. The stories keep developing. You got cops that were traumatized that came over here vowing to be righteous and wanted to go to heaven, like they knew but they didn't know the details. Like they got some group messages, but like how they put people under this lady to cause rambunctious problems and get her kicked out. They literally moved one little raggedy family out that was stealing her and her family's mail and various things, like the kid was going to prom. She said this hoe would steal the dresses for her kids because they had moved them away from her and put them with the mother. And then the mother, being evil and was currently, before everything ended, antagonizing the other grandchild, making the kid feel like they couldn't be there. So this lady that was antagonized, her kids went to her father's house. And him being a demon and a guerrilla pimp and being friends with all her friends, whether they were hired to come in or they just linked up to these people. It just became a whole massive cluster F of goofies. People with mental problems out here randomly being toddlers with knives. And she would say she was sick. Okay, so if she went to her father's house, he regularly would kick them out with garbage bags, her and her kids. So she was like, never going back. That's the evil old devil, right? Who does that? And then she said she would go to her mother's, and the mother would be all up in the kid's face and her face, just ignorant. And then told her she couldn't stay. So it's like, well, jam. And so she's like, well, guys, I'll be back in a week. They want to stay. They don't want to leave because now hotel owners, and she said it's because this was higher than her. Hotel owners were telling their staff to not rent to her children. That's what she reflected on later. Why she kept getting turned away, or just like whenever she at the latest would be at her mother's house, people downstairs seemed to make a lot of noise, and then very bad generators would go off while she's sitting and burn her butt, her legs, her feet, her ankles. And so the next week she'll have all these problems with her knees and her feet, like torture. And she had no idea what was happening to her daughters, her sons, her family. They got tangled up in nothing, an imaginary beef. And again, it's kind of all stemming from the people that didn't know why they were being hired to hurt this lady. They just knew it was promised money. And again, these were impoverished people that needed help. And so they took the bait and became very tyrannically enabled or motivated through money and lies to hurt this lady and her kids, her family. And she's not the only one with these stories, but she's the only one that's like so vocal. So let's see. Do I have anything else coming in today? I may not be able to finish this. So she will be sitting and quietly she'll hear a thump that wakes her up. Or whatever furniture she's on, no matter what it is, it would just start to rumble and rattle and get real hot and wake her, like literally, right? And this started at her father's house with this psycho wench, she said, just a nut. Like she sat with mayors, and in some places, the mayors never left the office. They would just hire people to sit in that place so they would puppet that person. So those people could not be effective as long as the Wiz was there. And the Wiz was at work 24/7, giving out orders. People had to comply, even if it meant going against government. And I'm like, what? Because they felt like this is my state. I say what happens. You don't have a right to come tell me how to run my backyard. She's never met these people, but they've absolutely been up her butt as if slave owners for a while, a long time. And people knew this because people had gotten comfortable in the bed with the slave owners, getting treats and tricks. So, her being born, whether intentional or not, people had robbed this kid all her life, putting cameras on her at very inconvenienced times, causing a lot of problems. And then she has a family, and it's like, oh, they sent him in too. What? So these kids will not listen to her most likely. They will not love her because they've already done this before, where a young lady will have a suitor come in. He's crazy. He's needy. We just need 2 kids. Just go get her pregnant 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, 10 times. Okay. Yeah, you can hit her. You can beat her. Treat her how you want. Okay. And these men do it. Oh, hey, punch her in the face. Whoop on her in front of the kids. Make them all scared. Okay. 5,000. Okay. Then you can have the house. Okay. Then the lady ends up dead. And all the kids are left and they go into a foster care program. And that bum goes off into the sunset and go and get another person to do that too, if he's available. What kind of machine is that? A shitty one, if you ask me. Forgive me, God. I meant what I said. She goes on to say how they turned these kids against her and how she'd seen this movie before where there was some elderly gentleman from the 30s that came into her life and they targeted him because he had secured a very wealthy contract with the state, the country, the city. But it was with a president. And this tyrannical person that thinks they're a slave owner for a whole state. Like they swear they bought it. You'll never see a document. Not a real one. The original. But they chose to attack this man, turn his family against him. I don't know if it was mind control or what. But those people jumped on this person's bandwagon and left their father in the cold as if dead. Strangest thing, like, are these people cloned? They're just weird. And these people would come to this lady, her not doing anything, and they would just say things. And it's like, I don't even know you guys. And I guess normally the women would kind of, I don't know, be weak. Or maybe they sent these ladies in that was on their side against their father. Or people would send women in that would steal from him and hurt his business. I don't know. But whatever the case, I don't bother anybody. So it's like, well, how did she get there? We can't run off. We need to have access to this office. We need to have access to stuff. That's what she said. Because they kept coming over doing stuff, rummaging, being weird. And it's like, what are they looking for? You wouldn't know. It's none of your business, right? This is family business. This is family junk. So you minded your business. And they're like, oh, she's in the way. Okay, well, she wants to be here. Let's put her in something. We're friends with a mayor. And so the mayor's like, my pleasure. I gave you a cop job, right? Son, right? All this weird stuff. These two people don't look alike. But it could be a son. So, black man. Big mayor's son. So anyway, seems like a right hand. Oh, that could be Roscoe P. Coltrane. That's what she said. Just trying to figure it out. Anyway, he is now assigned to whipping this lady up. Why? Because her name shows up in several places that the slave owner is going, that's mine. Go get her. Those are my toys. They're mine. She won't have them. And the family's like, target. So they unleash all of this BS using military weapons to irritate this lady and her family. Could have been something her father even put together as a machine that maybe she was talking about for something. Okay, yep. She made a comment and her ding, 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 deadbeat, dead brain cell father took the idea, put it on the market, sold it to the military people or people that like to keep up chaos. Or he already had an idea. And how did I get in it? How did she get in it? Anyway. How am I able to see this from this lady's point of view? Like I said, I'll be jumping in and out of how did I get in it? Yeah, that's probably her question. How did she get involved in it? So she goes on to confidently say, I don't have nothing to do with these nuts, me or my kids. But they're trying to get us caught up in some bank stuff, some crime, some criminal activity, and we have nothing to do with it except we're being tricked. Now remember, this is designed to trick her family into something. And God says, and you all will die. You and the people with you and the families that you have will go with you. And she was very adamant to God it. Gotta put that out there. And these people got the same message. Since they like the same messages at the time. So again, the people that's coming into this setting is in between the death of Christ and the return of Christ. I guess what happened after the return of Christ. I don't know. I guess we're going in this. So everybody's having to get ready for judgment at that point. And search their hearts and make sure that they're not found guilty of continuous sin, willing, full sin, blatant disregard for Creator. You look at the world and you see people that at the time had severe issues due to childhood. They didn't ask for that. And it's hard to come out of some of that stuff. Narcissism is very fixable. But if you're in a society that says, this is it, you do your best to cope. And the thing is, in some cases, I really feel that the heartfelt sorrow for these people is that they are fools. They're children in adult bodies, and it's not to insult them. It's just saying they literally were stripped of their ability to think for themselves, in a sense. It doesn't matter what position they hold in life. These are people that were neglected and abused brutally to where the humane part of them was taken out by someone else. Literally assassinated before they could even start. It starts in childhood. And you raise very reckless, heartless, childlike people. And they grow up into reckless, heartless people. I mean, what do you want? I don't think people intentionally do that, but I think they do now. That you would harm and hurt and neglect and abuse a child, a baby. Not show them affection and love. Strip them of humane things like fun and toys and smiles and hugs. Well, you can't give people what you don't have. You know, a lot of people that get hugs and smiles and, oh, cute baby. They didn't get it. So how do you expect them to give it to the world? Oh, you can change. You just don't want. This is a real condition that only God can change. Only God can do that. And yes, He can use people. And it's simply by not surrounding yourself with people that are heartless and treat you like a machine and treat you like you're not a human and don't show you real affection and love. And understand you weren't created to be a machine as a person. A heinous, heartless, cold, empty, checked out machine. You weren't built to be that. So no, you will not function properly. If someone told you to shut off your heart space, don't fall in love. God is love. He wants you to experience love. It's colorful. It's fun. Yeah, it can hurt, but it's part of life. No, God doesn't hurt. That other love. But it's all okay. We all make it and survive. People just shut it off. Safety, safety. My folks said it's safety not to show love and compassion. Oh, it's okay. It's not the end of the world, trust me. It's not the end of the world. It's not. People, their heart's been shut off for a long time. Don't even know how to or care to turn it on. And that's fine. But I think that's foolish. So while you're wishing that person bad and all that, God probably sees that person as a fool. And guess what? I think it's a scripture. It takes care of babies and fools. You get mad all you want. Some people have a community because people see A fool and a, oh, we must support this person. You know a fool that everybody supports. Get out of here. Everybody knows a fool that everybody supports. It's because you kind of know what happened to that person. People might not understand. They might not care. But again, some people have some very cold-hearted relatives that meant well, but they didn't have the capacity to love. Get. Woo, woo, woo. Rain, rain, rain. It was no, give me a hug, sweetie. I love you. Good job. Oh my goodness. Some people never heard that. I love you. People never heard that. When they needed it, they didn't get that. They got a stern punch. Man up, woman up. Sad. Kids. But then to trick people, they show all this fake love. Make people feel like they're listening. Then they stab them. Isn't that ironic? Is that the word? So, moral of the story is, we all gotta go from this earthly realm physically. Spiritually, spirits live forever, but it's either at heavenly places or the graveyard of hell. And I choose heaven, heavenly places. And I covered my daughters. And I'm sure this lady told her story of how she prayed for her family and how God cleared the entire path that she can come over to this setting and have freedom. We're kind of working to build the houses that these people will live in. It's free. It's like a mansion. There's no bills here. Everybody works together. So if they have a business, it's not necessarily run off of money in this system, as well as camaraderie. But if people do have a business or an idea that they want to work, they literally put the money back into the business to keep it operating. They don't sit on the money. We got to continue to build housing. And again, these are nice sized homes for people. God has provided us the resources. Very nice homes. We build them all over the nations. We just saw one in, is it Habib or something? We don't do political stuff here. So if we see people need homes and they're out and all their stuff is blown up, we go and we build. We take the wood, the concrete, and the glass, and the plastic and the metal that God has granted us, and we go and we build when people don't have homes. We saw the video where there was a road. All the houses were gutted out. I don't know if they were blown up or what. You see the road, all of those buildings, poof. So we plan to go there and build. Now, will we charge them? I'm sure there will be some type of payment. I think as long as we provide housing, what we do to maintain the houses, well, that's our business over here. But they're covered health-wise, life and death-wise. Their needs are met. We have beautiful seamstresses here, very creative people that make clothes. So we provide clothes, food, shelter, water, shoes for free, housing. And again, how do we maintain? We do. God is good. So over here we choose life, we choose God. There's no war here. It's very peaceful, as you can tell. No distractions. God is good. Now we will be visiting the war spots. keep our breastplate, helmet, shoes, piece, all of our armor of God on. We visit because those warmongers that cause discomfort to people and families, heartless. But we're not going to stop. STOP, we're not going to stop because people need peace. And I said, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Me and my daughters don't want war. This lady and her family doesn't want war. And the people that are entering here, no war. It's a no war zone. And we're grateful to God for creating such a beautiful place. So until next time, I'd like to thank you for joining me for my little story time. And we'll be back.